Yes.
What's going on, fellas?
Nice shirt.
Thank you. Want me to undo it a little just for you?
I love this gesture.
All right. So, hello, people. Welcome to the comedy show. It is good to have everybody. We will be starting early and then letting more people in as time goes on. I'm going to babble here for a few seconds at the start of the show. We do this every week. Next week is going to be on Wednesday, not Thursday, but we do this every week. And anybody do anything interesting this week? Anybody do anything out of the ordinary? Anybody do
No.
anything that required any attention? Because it's been just a peaceful, uneventful week. This is the kind of week where I think, as Americans, we just all love each other. We just all care about each other. You know, this is the kind of week where, as Americans, you realize why we like being Americans, because we're all saying such nice things to each other. Well, you know, we're walking down the street, we're greeting each other, going, "Hi, friend," and they're greeting you back, going, "Hi, friend," and doesn't matter if you're wearing red or blue, there's a whole lot of love going on. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of the Led Zeppelin song, "Want a Whole Lot of Love." That's what it means. I'm just sensing that. I've been following the election coverage, and it's been crazy. Because first of all, I don't know about you guys, but my bracket box was blown. I had a whole bunch of parlays, I had a whole lot of good gambling, and it just busted wide open. I'd have thought I'd done better in this one, but no. I had Biden, and I gave up 13 electoral college votes, and I still have a shot for that. I still have a shot for that. He's got to, you know, if he takes Nevada, Arizona, and then either Georgia or, Pennsylvania, I got a shot for that one to win. But if not, I'm going to lose that, and that's not good. Because here's the whole thing: I don't trust in American politics anymore, but I do trust in gambling. Because here's the whole thing: politicians will lie to you, they will cheat to you, they will steal from you. A gambler tells you automatically what the point spread is, and then leaves it up to you whether or not you want to have the bad habit. That is the best part about what we're doing here. You know, when we really look at gamblers, and we really look at degenerate gamblers, which is what we're talking about. We're talking about a class of people that are, on the average, nicer and better people than politicians. All right, and I think that's what we got to look forward to. Now, I don't know if you've been following the rhetoric from the election, but man, the vitriol from both sides is it's frightening. Because when you hear Trump talk, he's saying that the election was stolen from him. It's all fraudulent. If there's a Republican governor which would oversee the election's been taken over by Democrats anyway. They're not allowing observers there, even though every polling place has to have a Democrat and a Republican observer on all of them. So he's basically saying the laws of politics don't exist, the laws of time and space don't exist, and that the country's being bamboozled. And I'm a little bit afraid of that, because when I hear the Democrats talk and I hear Joe Biden saying things like count every ballot, man, you can't have that kind of rabble-rousing. You can't count every ballot. That's just fucking wrong. You got to look at some people and you got to go, this is America. You should not be able to vote. You shouldn't have the right to vote. What are you, left-handed? No vote for you. It should be like suit Nazis. There should be vote Nazis that when you walk in, you just, nope, you can't vote. And I've been watching Facebook. Here's why: because I've been taking an interest in exactly how stupid the public can be. Because I thought we hit rock bottom with stupidity. I thought as a nation we went as low as we could go. So for a couple of years, I kind of abandoned Facebook and I went over to Instagram, because Instagram, while it doesn't have the stupidity, has a lot more cleavage. And so it was just more joyous for me. Because what would you rather? Would you rather some guy screaming his manifesto all in caps on Facebook? Or would you rather, ooh, boobies? I don't know about you, but I made my choice. So I went over there for a couple of years. And then with the current election, I came back because I wanted to see what people were thinking. And here's a couple of things that I will tell you. I do not have any biological children. My daughter is technically my stepdaughter, but I don't have children of my own. And then I was reading the political tweets of my blood relatives, and it's a good thing these bloodlines stopped right the fuck here. There is, at this point, even though my wife is past the age where she can get pregnant, I'm going to have a vasectomy. Why? Because if I ever do step out of the marriage, I'm not taking this fucking chance. These bloodlines and right the fuck here. I have a nephew. Who has been in and out of jail 10 times over the last 14 years. He has spent more of the last 14 years in jail than out of jail. But he's a good kid. But he spent more time in than out. And he was tweeting or Facebooking early today that it's miraculous how corrupt the Democrats are and how proud he is to support Trump. So I'm thinking with quality support like that, we really got to look at Trump and say, hey, there's something about his support, because I've noticed things about proud Trump supporters. Number one is an affinity for the color red, which is really great that you looked at the traditional color of the Communist Party and you were there like, I am just going to co-opt that. I'm just going to take that and make that my own. That's the first thing I noticed that I really loved about them. The second thing I noticed, more than the color thing, because the color is just what comes at you, is the phrasing. In today's Trump press conference, he said that we are now the party of the workers. Oh, the Workers' Party. That's what you mean. The Workers' Party. Okay, I'm hearing what you're saying there. Apparently, this is what I'm thinking. Fascism is the new communism. That's what I'm thinking. Everything gets an upgrade. Like we say, 40 is the new 30. Fascism is the new communism. And we're taking all of it. Look at how Melania dresses. She basically dresses like she's going to a Russian parade. They've got a whole theme going on there. And I respect that. I respect a party that can coordinate as much as those guys are coordinating. Also, and this is a beautiful thing that I'm looking at. When you really look at the candidates and you see what they stand for, I just admire the moxie of somebody that goes, I don't believe in science. I don't believe in the truth. I believe what I believe. If you can have somebody that does that, that's going to make for a better America. You know why? Because that person can convince our children that Santa's real. That's why. Because he can look you in the eyes, and when the kid goes, Mom, Dad, I know you're buying the gifts, he can look you in the eyes and go, nope, it's all Santa. And you need that for the children. We've gotten what we need. It's the children that need to get some more stuff. I think as a nation, and by the way, if you're Republican right now, just hit my mute button because you're going to fucking hate what I'm about to say. As a nation, we've just had way too much time where we had progress, success, order, and dignity. And I think the two parties got together about 4 years ago. And they were there like, okay, we need to draw straws. And we need to nominate the biggest clusterfuck on either side. And let's see how much we can make the American people get that. Now, I do believe the experiment was only supposed to last 4 years. But here's the great thing about American people. Just when you think you understand the full depth, breadth, and passion of American stupidity, we whip out a banjo and just keep fucking going. We just, you know what I'm saying? We just looked at and we went, hold on. You mean you have a guy in the White House that doesn't believe in science? All right, I can get behind that. Let's just, boys, put your heads down, get in the pickup truck, and go. We had in where I live in New Jersey, a polling place in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, and it's where they count the ballots is literally about a 4-block walk from the supermarket, which is the center of our town. And I'm driving by at around, I'd say 10 o'clock on election night. And there's a group of about 15 Trump supporters that are outside the polling place screaming, "Stop the count." In New Jersey, you're screaming, "Stop the count." That's like standing in front of the Hershey factory and going, "Stop diabetes. You're too fucking late. You're in the wrong place." All right. Might I suggest you get in your pickup truck and drive to Philly? It's about 2 hours. Go there and protest. You might actually have an impact. But if you're screaming, "Stop the count," if they stop the count, you know what? Your guy already lost by 200 points. If you stop the count, all you're going to do is make sure that he lost. And just, you're saying, I just don't want him to lose as big, which is fine. Because, you know, as Americans, you often hear people say, you know, "Tubuku, tubuku." That's something you hear a lot in American, American society. It's way too big. I've heard many women say that to me on occasion. And it usually has to do with the bills I run up. But let me explain what's happening. Hopefully I took the bullet to start this, and I did as much election stuff as possible. We've got a lovely lineup of performers who I am sure are not only going to talk about the election, not only going to talk about politics, but they're also just going to talk about life, just life in general. And I sit back, relax, have some fun with these guys. I know you're going to love them. We're going to start with a very funny man. I actually was on his show this past Tuesday night. He runs a very funny show, and he will tell you about it at the end of the set. We'll talk to him for a minute or so. But right now, sit back, listen, and laugh a lot for Cats. Just Cats, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Woo! Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah. Uh-oh. It says I'm unstable. That's sounds about right. That's yeah.
You could be president.
I cannot deny those allegations. Yeah. I don't. We live in America, right? Where we're always trying to do things quicker, faster, longer, whatever. Why are we going on 2.5 days of counting? It's kind of like, I know you guys don't do this because you're mature, but it's kind of like when you're downloading porn and you get to 95%, like right there, then it takes another like 2 hours and you're already tired and just went ahead and just like popped in the VCR and a VHS tape, because yes, those still exist. Why it's just is the electoral college just buffering? I don't get it. Yeah, it's just baffling to me. I don't understand it. Yeah, Jim was talking about wanting to just look at the boobies and on Instagram, and yeah, but the problem is I like being over the hill, because I can actually focus on things that aren't just bouncing in and out of frame, and they don't just steer my eyes right there. Like I like being able to, I don't know, read a book. I just finished Green Eggs and Ham. It was pretty great. I'm hoping to start reading at a second grade level by the end of the year. That way I can actually meet one of my New Year's resolutions. So that would be great. It's just so weird. Like when I was actually in school, I couldn't focus on anything. except for the young ladies who are wearing clothes. I didn't even need to see skin. It was just women. She could have been wearing Mormons like and living in a burqa. I'd still stare at them and not focus on the. So I'm really loving like being like closer to death now. Because again, it's just I can focus on stuff and it's just so amazing. Why don't we just give every kid a vasectomy at the age of 13, and then by the time they graduate college, that's their reward. They get their balls back. You know how we always talk about like men and teenagers not being able to control themselves. We spay and neuter our pets because they're fucking our legs too much. Why don't we do that to like people who actually cause harm? I would much rather have my dog hump my leg every day than to actually try to raise a teenage son and have to like pay for abortions all the time. They're not cheap, guys. They're not cheap. Although Walmart does offer them on layaway, so that's kind of nice. No, you guys didn't know that? What state do you live in? Okay. Let's see. What else do I got for you? No, that's a stupid joke. Just have you guys started cooking? Like again, this is another thing that I love being my age. Like I realize how much weight I've gained by just living off fast food. It's disturbing. I always just thought like my clothes shrink in the wash. That was my go-to excuse. But then like during COVID, because everything was shut down, I actually had to like go outside my comfort zone. And I was living off fast food like McDonald's and Taco Bell. Wendy's and Taco Bell were the two restaurants I went to eat, I don't know, 4 meals a day. Is that right? On occasion, I would splurge and go eat some fine dining at Chipotle. So that was all. But there are these grocery stores where you can make the food yourself. I got like 3 pounds of hamburger meat and like just frozen French fries for the same amount of money as like a number 2 at McDonald's. You know, I think that's the double cheeseburger combo meal. Whatever, you get the point. And then soda. Oh my god! Again, if I wasn't so distracted by the women, I could have like learned stuff in class and said there are other places and learn how to grill meat. Oh my god! I'm just still blown by all this. I wish I would have known all this kind of crap back when I was a kid. Okay, I think I've rambled long enough. I'm gonna go learn how to make my own ice cream now. Ben and Jerry's, watch out. Thanks, guys.
That's cats, ladies and gentlemen. Cats, just cats. Woo! Oh, guys, it's exciting times to be an American, is it not? It is more than exciting times just to be in our country. I gotta tell you, when the pandemic started, the most amazing thing happened, and that is that all of my exes started contacting me. Not that they missed me, or not that they were worried about me, or not that they want to have sex with me again. It was because in pretty much most of the relationships I've ever had, I've been the one that actually knows how to cook. And my dad was a chef. That's what he did for a living. I learned how to cook at an early age. So, like, for me, like, the go-to thing in order to get women was I am going to talk to you a lot, because apparently women really do like smart dudes. You know what? They should have taught us that in high school. Because had we have known that in high school, we wouldn't have gone into any sports. We would have just studied. Because if I knew I could get in a woman's pants by knowing logarithms, I'd have fucking studied more logarithms. So first of all, they like talking to me, and then more than the talking to me, this is the really big thing. If I feed them, then suddenly I become a catch. Now it only works for a little while because then eventually they get to know me and they go, "No, I can fucking order out," and then I'm gone. But for that little while, I'm a catch. So I was getting phone calls from exes and text from exes and messenger from exes saying to me, "Hey, you made this one time. What do I need to make that?" And so I would send them lists. But here's the thing: depending on how much I liked the ex to how much I hated the ex when we broke up, I would just leave key ingredients off. Like if I only mildly disliked you, I might forget to tell you to salt and pepper to taste. And I get a text 3 days later going, "Oh, it's so bland." And if I really didn't like, if I was really pissed at the ex, I had an ex that said to me, "Hey, I want to make the chili you make." And I'm there like, "Okay." And I send her the recipe. And instead of saying, "Hey, cut up 1 jalapeno pepper per pound of ground beef," which is a normal amount of heat, I said, "Put in as many jalapeno peppers as you feel you can handle." I might have forgotten to tell you to de-seed them. I might have forgotten to tell you, some of the key parts of it. And then I'd get the text 3 days later going, "My asshole's on fire." And I'm there like, "Now you know how I felt at the end of the relationship." So it was a good way for me to get a little vengeance. What do you say? More? We want more?
More.
We got more for you. It's not going to stop. This isn't more than a cavalcade of comedy. Today is a comedy avalanche. That's what we're calling today. Welcome to the comedy avalanche. We're going to continue with a very funny young lady. She's absolutely brilliant. She has her own comedy special, which she is syndicating on Instagram. Put them together for Isabelle Pierre. Isabelle Pierre.
How's everyone doing?
Ooh.
Thomas Gorman, OG at every show, man. Whose
Good
friend
relief.
is this? Whose friend are you, Thomas?
Me.
Oh, wow. God.
But he loves you.
You are loved, Stuart. You are really, really loved.
Yeah.
Guys, I know people are really nervous about the election, but I keep saying it. We might not actually need a president. We haven't really had one for 4 years. We might not even need a complete cabinet because, we haven't had a complete cabinet for 4 years either. We haven't even really had a first lady for 4 years. And I think, if Melania wasn't a Republican, if she wasn't essentially like the sugar baby in some respects, I feel like she'd sort of be a feminist icon in her complete refusal to stand by her husband publicly. Complete refusal to toe the line. I gotta respect that the lady was like, "If you want me to perform, you need to pay me." I really, she's a bit of an icon, even though she's totally complicit, and Melania would watch the world burn while wearing Chanel. But the New York Times style section won't be around to write about it, how great she looked. Anyway, so my people are from Haiti. Woohoo to Haiti. Shout out to Haiti. Haiti is known as the first African nation to free itself from slavery. It's most commonly known as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. And again, made famous by Trump as a shithole country. Which, if he had the ability to reflect, he might be rethinking that right now. Haiti is one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere, in part because if you piss off European slave owners, they'll make you pay for it for all of eternity, which is true. France made Haiti pay them an independence tax well into the 20th century. According to the internet, it's the equivalent of about $21 billion. When Haiti elected a political leader who demanded reparations, the French government allegedly overthrew said president and put in another leader who was like, "Reparations? Nah, we don't need those." If you can think, it's a little like taking out a liberal leader and like putting in Terry Crews. You know, I think
Very nice.
you know, trying to get
Oh.
reparations from the French is only slightly harder than like getting another stimulus check from our government. But what I am hoping for, you know, the holidays are coming. I am hoping that like a Democratic led government, you know, might shelve out some cash. You know, what are we thinking? I'm thinking like $2,500. You know, maybe I'm waiting on that stimulus check just in time for the holidays. So Haiti is also known for voodoo ceremonies and voodoo practices. And you know, my grandmother, she's a woman of God now, a very Catholic woman, but she used to practice in voodoo. And I remember being in her house and seeing chickens and a bunch of people dressed in white. And when the ceremonies got intense, she'd put rum in my milk so I'd fall asleep early, probably contributing to my later half in life alcoholism. Yeah. But my grandmother is terrible at watching kids. Like once she was done with the one she had, she never should have been left alone with other ones. Like that, it was a mistake all around on all parts. And one time, my cousin and I, we decided that we wanted to escape from Sunday school. So, like all '90s kids, we were supposed to be being watched by my grandmother, but she was off doing her own thing as she does. And like all '90s kids, we decided to take a bus to a mall that had a toy store because that seemed like a great sort of weekend getaway for an 8 and a 9-year-old. At the toy store, we stole candy, and that was our big survival plan. We were going to survive off of candy. So far, and then we walked around a little bit and we got bored and we decided we needed shelter. And I'm really proud of all the logical steps we made. We were like food, shelter, we were building up. And we were by Marine Park in Brooklyn. And for those of you who don't know that area, there's a large dock and a large marina. So we broke into the marina, hopped on a boat, and drank someone's beer out of their cooler. Some poor fisherman was going to be real upset when they took their boat out the next weekend and realized their stash of beer was gone. Again, thanks, Grandma, for the alcoholism. Around 11 o'clock at night, my cousin and I decided that independence kind of blows, and also it's a little scary. So we ran out of money, and we were just like, all right, we're just gonna walk home. By ran out of money, I mean we had like $2, and I don't know what happened to it. So we tried to walk home, and from where we lived in Flatbush, it was about a 40-minute walk, but we missed a turn. So again, being as logical as children can be, how are we going to get home, you guys? It's getting late. We don't know where we are. We don't have any money. This is before cell phones. So we're like, all right, we'll knock on the doors of strangers at 11 o'clock at night in Brooklyn, and hopefully someone will take pity on us. And the first guy who opened the door for us, he was an older white man in his pajamas, and he took one look at us and said, "No, I'm not going to jail for pedophilia today." And in hindsight, I respect that. It was a solid choice. Total lack of empathy, but his self-preservation was on fleek, We were also like two small Black children hyped up on candy, deceptively able to hold our liquor. So I'm sure we were like very suspicious people. There is a woman, we knocked on the door and she finally took pity on us and she took us in, she gave us cookies. We lied and said we got lost shopping. She called the police. We were reunited with our parents. Apparently streets were shut down. A detective is on the case. I can't imagine what my mother had to do to get a precinct full of white policemen to care about two missing Black children, but God bless her. I'm sure it wasn't pretty. She was so relieved to have me back that I never had to go to Sunday school again, which is my grand plan the whole time. And I couldn't believe that I wasn't punished. Like I kept waiting for the other shoe to drop, because like West Indian immigrants, like they hit their kids for talking back, and I ran away for 12 hours, and you didn't touch me. Like there was nothing. There was no recourse whatsoever. I didn't realize physical discipline wasn't typical in everybody's home until I started watching TV featuring white children who would talk back to their parents. And I always paused because I was like, "Where's the smack across the mouth? Is that does that only happen where I live, or like why are you not kneeling in rice for hours for your sin? Like where where is that? This is not this is grade school Isabel. Like, is there another way to parent? Like, is there out of this? I thought there was only one way." Um, the running away thing must have really scared my mom because I don't remember really getting hit after that. The discipline turned emotional and manipulative. So, different different set for a different time. All right, you guys, thanks so much.
All right, keep it going for Isabel. Isabel. Woo! Isabel, where can people find your special?
You can log on to the Isabel Pierre, at the Isabel Pierre on Instagram. It's called Participation Award. It's listed as a series. It's lots of fun.
There you go. So you guys got to go. You got to watch. You got to have fun. Anybody watch it on YouTube, go there, wait for this show to end, then go there and watch that. I also would run away repeatedly as a child, and normally, the stories with kids that run away, especially at early ages, are very similar to Isabel's. Like, you run away, what do you get? Grandma's house. You go to maybe down the block. You cross a couple of streets. Maybe you make it to an adjacent neighborhood. I was 12 years old. We lived in Manhattan, New York, and I ran away to Mexico, where I stayed on a beach in Acapulco for almost 5 weeks.
Oh shit!
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Do you know what it means if you can run away to Mexico at 12 for 5 weeks? Do you know what it means if you get there? It means your parents weren't looking. That's what it means. It means that my parents woke up one day and went, "This summer's going to be peaceful." That's what it means. So I will tell you guys more about Run Away to Mexico at a later time. But we've got another very funny man to bring to the stage right now, and I just know that he has a lot to say about what's going on in the world right now. Put it together for Stuart Gibble. Stuart Gibble.
I'm doing my best not to talk about the election. Really doing my best. I can't give up any more sleep or sanity. I have nothing left in the tank. Anyway, hello from Brooklyn, where we don't have legal weed yet, but we do have NPR. Most of us betrayed, and the ones who wouldn't are obviously in a coma. But anyway, I was listening to NPR, and they had a show about whales. And there was an oceanographer on, and he was saying the reason whales beach themselves is that when they think they're getting sick, they don't want to pollute the ocean, so they crawl up on land. And I thought for a minute, I said, "Hey, Mr. Oceanographer, where do whales poop?" Because unless they crawl up on land to do their business, they're going in the ocean. They don't want to keep it clean. They're peeing in the ocean like all of us do. So, in other words, you have another thing to worry about next summer when you go to the beach besides sharks, okay? Another show, this I was watching on TV, I think it was a History Channel. It was about pirates. And pirates had a problem because they couldn't just walk into a bank and make a deposit. So as you know, they buried their treasure. The problem is that everyone who dug the hole knew where that treasure was. So some of the pirates decided they have their crew dig the treasure and then they would kill them. Man, we're lucky that doesn't happen now. Can you imagine going to Citibank or Chase and opening an account and not trusting the guy and having to kill them? I mean, I would fear for the lives of the people who work at Wells Fargo. They set up thousands of phony accounts. They ruined people's credit scores. They gave out people bad loans. People would be lining up to open an account. Sure, would you like the toaster? No, I want to slit your throat. That being said, I don't know if it's the right thing to kill bankers, but maybe if we, one or two as a kind of a lesson, they would reduce some of those overdraft fees. Just a thought. I think my dog may be racist. The other day I was walking with him, and he's a very friendly dog. He's a big red poodle. He goes up to people, he says hello, they pet him. But the other day, for some reason, he barked at a black man.
Uh-oh.
And the gentleman turned around and gave me that look. Is your dog barking at me because I'm black? And of course, my thought was, no, he has really good hearing and he's barking at you because you're listening to West Coast rap. Okay. But I don't know what to do because he's a really friendly dog. But if he's going to start barking at anyone who's dark skinned, I talked to him. I talked to my dog. And I said, hey, chill, don't bark at anyone. What makes me special is not that I talk to my dog. What makes me special is that my dog talks to me. Now, most of what he says is, go park, hump bitches. He's not good on grammar, but he's not a sexist because they're female dogs. So it's okay to call them bitches. I may have a racist dog. I don't have a sexist dog. And I say, that's all you want to do is go to the park. You think you're like some sex dog or something. All you do is want to hump. I'd be more impressed if you knew more than one position. That's true, but they named it after me. So I'm going to ask him about yoga next week. Anyway, I went to my favorite deli in Brooklyn, and I go there every day, every other day. There's usually a TV on. We're watching sports. I chat with the owner. And occasionally, if there's a news show and Donald Trump is on, I go up to the TV and I say, fuck you, Trump. It's Brooklyn. There's no reason to be shy about my political leanings. But the other day, there was a show about Hawaii on the TV. And the owner's son, who works the cash register, says, oh, Hawaii is on my bucket list. This kid is 18. I looked at him and said, fuck you. You don't need a bucket list. You need a to-do list. A bucket list is for older people like myself who have failed at life and we didn't do all the things that we wanted to do. We spent too much time in a cubicle, putting in overtime for a boss who didn't appreciate us. So here we are. Now we need a bucket list. People ask me what's on my bucket list. I really don't have one. I would like to yell fuck Trump more, but not in Brooklyn. Okay, I want to go to a Waffle House in Alabama and yell fuck. I'm not ready to do that yet. I think I might do skydiving first, but someday I will do that. I don't think I'm brave. I'm not as brave as the next comic, Franz Kayo. He is so brave.
How great is he?
He talks shit about Terry Crews. Okay, that takes cojones. Okay, thank you very much, people. It's been a pleasure. We're here next Wednesday. New York Underground Comedy Festival coming up in December, and love you guys.
Stuart Gibble. Woo! All right, I'm going to talk about this very briefly. I don't usually talk about my own sex life, but I'm going to let you guys in on this.
Uh-oh.
As you get older, your partner knows you better. And I have a very high sex drive. Like, I want all the time. Like, what do you want to do today? Let's have sex. That's just me. Apparently, I've never matured past 14. I pretty much just want to eat all the ice cream and fuck as much as humanly possible. That's pretty much it. If I could do those two things in the same day, it's a good day. So my wife realizes this, And so she's found creative ways to get me off her scent, for lack of a better way to put this. Here's the latest one. I also have a bit of an uncontrollable anger issue when it comes to our current president. So if I come to bed and I'm, because there's a ritual, I don't know if you guys have, but my wife's Dominican. She's like very, very culturally set in her ways. Like I know if I want to get some, I'm gonna shower. I'm gonna make sure she stays up. I'm gonna put music on. I'm gonna do all the things that have to set the mood, and I will do all that, and she'll realize what I'm angling for, and I'll come out of the shower, and she'll go, "Hey, do you know what Trump just said?" And I'll go, "What the fuck did the guy just?" And all of a sudden, boom, nothing, because I hear the word Trump, and it becomes a fucking innie. I don't know how that happened. It's not just shrinkage. It's receding. It's receding Trump dick is what I call it. That is actually now a medical condition. I don't know if you know that. We are going to continue with a very funny man. And people have made, people alluded to him all evening, but you know what? Doesn't matter how much we talk about him. Your life is not complete until you've actually seen him. Put them together for Franz Kayo. Franz Kayo.
So I want to thank you for having me. I want to start with Katz and tell him, dude, fast food, you got to do the math. Burger King now has a thing where you can get a burger, nuggets, fries, Coke, and a fucking like smoothie for $4.
Oh,
That's not real food, dog. That's not real food. You might as well just drink your own urine and eat your own shit. That's just not good.
It tastes just as good.
It tastes, yeah, that's terrible. And for my French sister, Isabelle Pierre, yeah, the Haitians having to pay France, that was the original platinum plan. Terry Crews would have felt good about that because we wouldn't want the French to feel bad that they got their ass kicked by the Haitians. So yeah. And Stuart, I got nothing for you, man. I got nothing for you at all.
okay. I'll still keep writing your jokes. It's not.
Yes, thank you. But Jim, one of the things that I learned about Jim, unfortunately, the other day was I was booking a friend as a guest for the show that I do now. And he was just like, hey, I'm going to go to your comedy show. And he was sending it to one of his, I don't know if it's a girlfriend. We won't call it a girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But when he sent over the actual invitation and she saw that your name was on it, she was like, I used to fuck that guy. That was my ex-husband. So he didn't make it to the show. He didn't make it to the show. I don't know why. Obviously he isn't one of the ones that is calling you for cooking recipes.
No, considering the only ex-wife he would have met, it was.
Yeah. So now hearing that story about your amorous, your needs, I threw up in my mouth a little bit. So I just want to start.
Welcome for that.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to start by saying that tonight I'm only going to make one political observation, which is very rare for me. I'm just going to do one political joke. And that political joke is obviously the white people didn't read those anti-racist books that they bought. This is just a perfect example of America just getting dumber. Like white fragility is not something that you just put on your fucking shelf and show off to your friends. You actually have to open the book up, crack the spine, and do the work. But this election has taught me that no, they didn't read shit. What else this election taught me is that I have been taking full advantage of freedom and opportunity. Like I need to take better care of my freedom and opportunity. I used to be married to a woman that also would call me up and ask me about what she should eat and watch after we got divorced. And you're just like, why are you calling me? Like there should be like a I don't know, some type of 100-yard rule or something like that. What do they call those things, Isabel, when you're not allowed to contact the person?
Restraining order.
Restraining order.
I knew you would know.
I
So-
do. I know a lot about them.
Stuart chiming in scares me a little bit, especially with the beard. But
What's your address?
somewhere in Brooklyn, Stuart. Somewhere in Brooklyn.
Let's die.
Oh,
Bed-Stuy.
he already knows it.
Yeah, I know. He already. So, but you have this new thing when you get divorced. You're like, oh, freedom, an opportunity to do things that you wouldn't have been able to do before. My ex-wife, however, decided that she still wanted to control everything, and I remember she actually made me a list of women that she thought that I should date after we actually got divorced. Do you know what wasn't on that list? Halle Berry. Halle Berry wasn't on that list. Tessa Thompson wasn't on that list. Her hot friend from college that she knows that I was interested in, she wasn't on that list either. Because, they don't want you to have real freedom and opportunity. We actually, I remember when I started dating my current wife, we had freedom and opportunity because we were both divorced, and our exes would actually take the kids. So we would be able to have full range inside our house to do whatever ridiculousness that we wanted to do on the steps, on the couch. Yeah, don't come over and eat. You don't know what happened. And then the other day we would go for it, loud, all that stuff that you want to do, and you wouldn't have to stick a stock in someone's mouth. And the other day, our neighbors came up to us and said, "Hey, we can hear you laughing from your house." Laughing. See, they're trying to ruin our freedoms and opportunities by trying to embarrass us by telling us that she's not able. They don't want to hear us while we're having sex. Well, hey, we own our own house. Fuck you. But now we got married and now we have the kids in the house. So that also messes up with our freedoms and opportunities, because we don't want to scar them any more than we already have by being terrible non-Republican parents that actually got divorced. You're supposed to just ride these things out. I remember also my ex-wife had offered me the opportunity for me to stay inside of the house that I lost in the divorce so that the kids wouldn't have to go far when they went to go visit me. Can you imagine trying to bring a date over? Don't worry about it. We're just going to walk past my ex-wife and our kids, and we're going to have the most ridiculous sex ever. At that point, you have to wonder, any woman that actually wants to do that, she's a fucking sadist. And I don't think that's anything that you want to get with after you've already been divorced from a fucking sadist. You know what? I think that's all I got today. I think the Halle Berry joke, that went over well.
Terry Crews.
Terry Crews.
Uh-oh.
Terry Crews, my favorite. He is the reason why all of us are not allowed to watch porn anymore, as you well know, because he had his freedom and opportunity taken away from him after his wife found out he was cheating on him. So now he's trying to punish the rest of us. Sort of like this election. All right, I'm out. Thank you very much.
Franz Kyle, give me go for Franz.
Woo.
Clap for Franz Kaya, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! And so you got an extra little visual there, Franz. I'm glad I could help you out this week.
Yeah, thank you. That was great.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So you probably went online, looked up her picture, and you went, "How the fuck did that happen?" You know? That's.
I hear she's very funny, though. I
She
hear
is.
she's very, very funny.
But here's the whole thing.
So I
You-
don't know.
In every relationship, there is somebody that looks wise is fucking above their station. Like, there's never even. There's never like Brad Pitt, Angela Jolie were the only even couple ever. Everyone else, one is better than the other. Do you know what I'm saying? And here's the whole thing. Just once in my life, I want to be the guy that is the higher equivalent. Because my entire life, I've always introduced people to the person I'm dating, and they all look at me like, "How? But you?" And I just want to go, look, I cook, and I'm fairly intelligent. It's only gonna last an hour. Just let me fucking have this. You know what I mean? Just let me have this. Yeah, it's terrifying when you got that visual, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, no, it's over for me. I almost didn't show up for the set today.
You know what was probably more terrifying? The guest you were trying to book when he looked online and he found me. Like, you know what I mean? Because that had to make him question his own attractiveness. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to continue right now. We have another very funny gentleman. You are going to enjoy the hell out of this person. Please put your hands together and help me welcome Mr. James DeSalvo. James DeSalvo.
How's everyone doing? All right.
James.
All right. All this porn talk tonight. Well, apparently a lot of stripper and porn stars take their names from cities down south. You got Charlotte, Dallas, Savannah, Lexington, Atlanta. See, that wouldn't work with northern cities or Midwestern cities. They just don't roll off the tongue. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the very sexy Passaic. Ooh. Come here. This porn has Scranton Lake, Sylvania. She is hot. Oh, yeah. Oh, and then there's a great girl on girl scene with Duluth and Omaha. Oh, you gotta see it. Oh my God. Check out the big boobs on Sheboygan. And of course, you know, Ronkonkoma is so hot. Oh, God. But it's Christmas season already. Just from Halloween to Christmas, not even Thanksgiving. But, you know, at least my favorite is coming on. I love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Great film about, you know, how good it is to bully somebody else. But to me, I'm sorry, the Island of Misfit Toys, what the hell? What's wrong with them? I want a squirt gun that shoots jelly. And Charlie in the Box? No one wants a Charlie in the Box. Legally change your name. And that little doll, nobody loves me. Oh, God. Unless her name is Syphilis Sally, there is nothing wrong with her. I got sores down there.
Oh, God.
He's the gift that keeps on giving, all right? God. Oh, then we always hear those few words that I've heard and you've all heard, I'm sure. I need to tell you something, which is never good. You know, I cheated on you. It's malignant. Oh, God. You know, I checked your browser history. I used to have a penis.
Oh, jeez.
Or I used to have a penis and it was bigger than yours. And do me a favor, funerals, leave kids at home, all right? They suck at funerals. Oh, come on. Their condolences are always the worst. Sitting there, oh, mister, I'm sorry for your loss. Oh, well, thank you, Timmy. It's great to see you here. Thanks. as a matter of fact, I believe it was Nietzsche who said, none of us wish to be born into this world or when we choose to leave. The worst. That was Kierkegaard, Timmy. Oh, God. And I've been watching a lot of Turner Classic Movies lately. It taught me a lot of things. You have to change the way you talk to tell stories. Yeah, you could tell somebody a story like, oh, I met this chick and she was really hot. But come on, get excited, make it up there, make it great. See, the other night, I met this dame, she was hot, this toots. Oh boy, she was a cat's pajamas, a bee's knee, I fell head over heels, I tell you. Why, I went to this gin joint, and I'm sitting there just sniffing on my giggle juice, and this toot, she comes walking over with these gams that going all the way to Tuesday, I tells you. Well, she comes over and says, hey, can you buy me a snort? Like, oh, check out the moxie on this one, huh? But I acquiesced. I bought her one there, and she chugged it back, no problem, like she was a teamster or something, see? So he's sitting there flapping our gums about the weather. Then she goes, hey, I say, you want to dance there? She goes, hey, whoa, step back there, buddy. I ain't no flapper, see? All right, then. So she starts to lead in for a smooch, you see? Then I felt her mitts going for my wallet. I said, whoa, take a step back there, toots. Come on. I ain't no palooka. Hit the bricks, doll. You know what the real kicker is? I'm still dizzy for that dame, I tells you. Well, tell you what, in that tone, I tell you, we give it back to the big cheese, the head honcho here. Let's give it up to your friend, your MC, Jimmy the Greek Mendrinos. Thank you very much.
Keep it going with James DeSalvo, ladies and gentlemen. James! Woo.
Thank you very much, yeah.
He does that just a little bit too well, don't you think?
Oh, sure, see?
Just a little bit too well.
Next time we get a
I think that's
pinstripe
his
suit
real
for you.
voice.
I think the rest of the time it's an affect. That is.
Yeah.
So
I'll do that during sex. Yeah, see? There you go, see? Sure. Why are you getting the whole six, I tell you? Say that shit.
you're
never
married,
mind.
so she has to at least get a court injunction to get you away. You might as well. If you do that while you're dating, you never get another date. So I do a lot of different things artistically. One of the things I do is I'm also a photographer, and I do a lot of people's portfolios. And there's a young lady who I have known since she was 11. And she goes, can you do shots of me? And she's 21 now, 22 now. And I'm there like, what shots do you need? And she said, I have an OnlyFans.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So I'm not ignorant. I know what OnlyFans is. And they're like, I'm going to pass on shooting porn. She goes, no. I do artistic OnlyFans. Why don't you go subscribe and then, see if you want to shoot it. So I'm there like, oh, okay, maybe she really is an artist. Here's the difference between artistic OnlyFans and regular OnlyFans. They both have spread leg shots, but one of them will also have a vase somewhere in the shot. One piece of Grecian pottery does not absolve this from being porn. Literally, if I could give you an online gynecological exam, this is not art. All right, and there's nothing wrong with. I've got no problem with porn. I will tell you this. I've been divorced a couple of times. It got me through a couple of nice divorces. Porn can be our friends. But what I'm going to say about this is just we need people to admit to that's what you're doing. Like, I would have a lot more respect if she went, hey, I want to sell people shots of my vagina. You want to take the pictures? Make a few bucks. All right. Yeah, at least you're copying to what you're doing. If I have friends who tell me, no, I'm voting for Trump because of the economy. I'm there like, dude, you have been unemployed and scamming disability since 1997. That is not why you're voting for him. You're voting for him because you really don't like black people ever since one dated your daughter. Fucking stop it and just admit what you're doing. I just want you to own your shitty. Don't you think the world would be better if we all owned our individual shittiness? And just cop to it. Like somebody said to me, like, Jim, you're overweight. Is it because glandular problems. Wouldn't no, I fucking like ice cream and pizza. I would rather eat ice cream than go to the gym. I'm owning my shit. You need to own your shit, people. I'm actually going to run for president in 2024, and my platform will be everyone needs to own our shit. That is our platform. All right. But we are going to continue with a very funny young lady. And I know this person for years. She is like my little sister in comedy, and I always love when she's willing to do these shows for me. Could you please put your hands together? Be very kind to Miss Ellen Karras. Ellen Karras, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
My Jim, you're so kind to me. I might ask you to do my headshots, because I haven't asked you for enough favors in my career.
You got it.
I love Jim's runaway to Mexico story. I've heard it a bunch of times, and I'm jealous because I was never that kid. So I have a lot of random thoughts, so I'm just gonna throw them all out there. I think we can all agree that the pollsters are the 8-track of usefulness, right? We're done. They don't get anything right, so they should just go. I don't know, maybe apply at Starbucks, maybe a little, Uber Eats, something else that they really can contribute more to society. I was thinking too that, with the counting of the votes, we really, I think that we need to, at this point, because there's a lot of controversy. So to be fair, I think we should call in the people from Publishers Clearinghouse, and they should just continue to count the vote. That might be a joke for people that were born before 1975, which a lot of these are. That's really what my niche is. My demographic is getting older and older as I am. So, speaking of, they are saying that if Trump loses, that he will run in 2024. And I don't know if anybody has checked his chronological age. He's not superhuman. We all get older, no matter who you are, right? Even Terry Crews, right? He's the big reference to Terry Crews. I got to Google him later to find out exactly other than he's got a great body, but so I'm old, but I'm not dead yet. Jim's.
Hey.
Sorry, I didn't mean to plagiarize. Excuse me. I take that. I retract that. That's it. So 2024. It's I don't understand. Okay, women over 50 can't get on a fucking stand-up lineup, but for some reason the whole president, there's no age limit to run for president. Leader of the free world, most important person on the planet, button on the nukes, and you can wet your pants and take about 10 different medications, and it's all okay, I guess. I'm not quite sure how you pass the medical exam, but anyway, so I wish people would stop saying that. But what I do think is going to happen, though, is that I don't think Trump is going to go away, because he's not that kind of guy, and he does still have a lot of energy left. Again, I think we can all agree. I think what he's going to do is he's going to get a TV station. I think he's just going to he's going to do something. He's a very revengeful person. He doesn't like to lose, so he might plant it so that you're on Facebook and then his face pops up. It might be of the dancing, the YMCA dancing, that might all of a sudden be an image that you can't get out of your head, because he's going to make sure that it gets played a million times. I don't know where that was going, but I did find that dance disturbing. The whole, but no one's talking about COVID, because now we're all distracted, obviously, with the election. be interesting to see who wins, if it like all of a sudden goes away or whatever. I don't know. I know I sound a little conspiracy theorist with that, but I know there's a lot of talk about the vaccines, right? So there's like, there's the two camps. There's the vaccine camp, and then the other people like, oh, well, that's not going to happen. So, but I mean, I have some friends, they are ardent vaccine people. Like my friend Millie starts every sentence with, when we get a vaccine. Like when we get a vaccine, we'll go to brunch. Like that is, she is hardcore. And she was very excited because the Russians are apparently, just like they tried to rush us to space, they're trying to rush for the vaccine. She's like, Ellen, I mean, this is amazing. Like the Russians, like, you're going to take the vaccine, right? I mean, it was made, it's made in Russia. It's okay. And I'm like, I wouldn't take the vaccine if it was made in Queens, but that's. And by the way, before I take that vaccine and get a shot in my ass, I want Bill Gates to take it. I want Terry Crews to take it. I want Jimmy Kimmel to take it. I want other people. I want to see how they react. So it was interesting. I don't know if you guys know, but one of the companies that was looking to get involved with the vaccine is Kodak. And again, for you, Isabel, I know very young, but I don't know if you know what Kodak is, but we used to not take pictures with our camera. We used to actually take it with our phone. We used to take it with a camera, and in the camera there was film. And you would go to, a photo mat, and I know this is like very, off the rails, but anyway, my husband was upset. My husband's very much a, like Monday morning quarterback. Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? We should have known this. I mean, you don't know these things. And he asked me, how come we didn't buy any stock in Kodak? And I'm like, because nobody has said Kodak in a sentence in 25 years. So it wasn't exactly, the forefront. I mean, we talk about Amazon and Google and, which we can't even buy those stocks anymore. But anyway, so speaking of what's going on in my house, you guys lead a much more exciting life than I do. I'm married to one person, or I've both been married to one person. And not that I'm putting anybody down. I've had a lot of relationships, but the marriage thing is one and done for me. And my husband is, again, he's worried, and he thinks we need to downsize. So the fact that we live in 750 square feet seems very decadent, and we have 2 bathrooms, and apparently that's really living high on the hog. That's really being a 1%er. So looks like we're going to have to go to a smaller quarters, and I'm not quite sure how that's going to work out. Not well. And then he says, well, we don't have to live in New York. I mean, we can move someplace else. There's always there's a lot of people that are doing that, right? As a matter of fact, my building, half of it's empty, which is sad, really. So that's bad news. The good news is that as people are moving out, they're leaving things behind. So I just scored an iron and a whole case of hand warmers. So that's so I'm like, well, where would we go? And he's like, well, what about New Zealand? And I'm like, we're not that couple. Do you know what I mean? We're not that couple where we can go to just a random place and be happy together. That's not going to work for us. We need to be around our friends and our family, so we have distractions. Not us all the time, because that doesn't. He gets upset if we're both in the kitchen at the same time. So that's not going to work. He gets. So. He's again very cost conscious. He likes to go to Costco. He does and he goes, God bless. I mean, he will go do the shopping because he doesn't trust me, because behind his back, I'll go to Whole Foods. Which is like, freaking forget it. That is like I just had sex with two guys at the same time. Like I over the it is really over the top. It's very excessive, and he says, because everything there is organic, and in his mind, that's a ripoff. There's no such thing as organic, and they should just we need to see in our house. We eat it economically, which means that we eat everything that has pesticides. So if it has Roundup, that's what we have. So that's what we eat is basically, chickens with 4 breasts is perfectly acceptable in this house. So anyway, that went nowhere fast. Okay, so just to get back to it was better another time when I was actually not in my bed and on stage, which I mean, I can't, what's going to happen when we have to go live? Like we're going to, like, I hope they have like cots on stage for some of us that have been doing these Zoom shows for so long. So I do find it very interesting because I'm on Facebook also, like all of you, way too much time. I mean, I should be doing something. Reading the Harry Potter series. I don't know, so like something, but I'm on Facebook. I get addicted, but I'm fascinated by how people are experts. Like there's a lot of our friends became epidemiologists, during the pandemic. And then when the New York Times article came out, they became tax attorneys. And now with the election, everybody seems to be a constitutional scholar. So it's very impressive. I'm very, very impressed. In between taking pictures of food, that everybody has such big skill sets on social media. I think that I think the election might come down to Nevada, right? Is that it? It might come down to Nevada. So again, just my suggestion, because I want to be fair, I think that we should have Joe Pesci count the votes in Nevada in his character from Casino. Nicky Santoro, I think that was his character. Like I think he should be doing that. That makes me feel good that Nevada might be the deciding factor. The place where you eat a buffet until you're about to puke. But anyway, that's fine, no problem. Just a few more random thoughts. I actually posted this. If it just like the whole, when they say like if a tree falls in the forest, you hear it. If I didn't put in my I voted sticker, does it count? If I didn't post it on social media, the I voted sticker, does it count? I mean, why is Busy Phillips telling me what to do? I'm 100,000. Stop fucking telling me what to do. I know what to do. Okay, stop it. Stop the nonsense. Let's see if I have one more other thing. Yeah, I think I have one more other thing. Two more things, really quick things. I, for the last couple of years, was an elf. I was an elf, and I am now an unemployed elf, which is really sad. To not, be an elf and be out of work. So if anybody has anything for me to give out presents at Christmas, I'm available. Also, as we know, every day we have a national day of something. So we've had National Dog Day, and I don't have a dog. We've had National Daughter Day. I don't have a daughter, and National Sons Day. I don't have a son, so I have no kids and no pets, basically. I'm just waiting for National Successful Career Day so I can feel completely inept in aspect of my life. So let's make sure somebody invents that. So anyway, Jim, thank you so much. This is always a pleasure.
Ellen Garris.
Good.
Ellen Garris, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it going for Ellen. You guys have been awesome. And I don't just mean that for the comics, I mean that for our pair of audience members as well. You guys have been amazing. For two people, you almost left with the ability of 5 to 7. That is, that is just basically chuckling beyond your station.
I'm sorry.
We have another one of these fine shows next Wednesday. So sign up, come for that. And until then, all the comics on the show, you guys were awesome. Watch the election results, but at the same time, monitor your blood pressure. That is my advice for you guys going forward. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Love
you.
you guys.
Thank you, guys.